Never forget that in the clown world that the United States has become, truth is not reality. Reality itself is not reality. Perception is reality, and perception is carefully crafted by a relatively small web of billionaires and media personalities and Hollywood elites. Now, a lot of things were uncertain when Donald Trump won the election in 2016, but one thing that was 100% guaranteed was that never again would this cabal of billionaires and elites allow themselves to lose control of the public's perceptions again. The first thing that I said when Donald Trump was elected is to prepare for an unprecedented attack on information and massive levels of censorship, mainly in the disguise of protecting people from quote-unquote fake news or hate speech. Now this was obvious, but even I didn't anticipate how brazenly this would happen. Never did I imagine that the press secretary or even the president would have their Twitter accounts blocked and suppressed. Now think back to the information you had access to through the internet in 2015. Now think of where we are 5 years later. Virtually every single right-wing personality with a substantial audience has been scrubbed from major platforms such as YouTube, Apple, Twitter, Facebook. Even libertarian-leaning commentators are targeted if they do not fall in line with the mainstream. All of these were removed under the guise of combating hate speech and fake news. Now, I'm not going to sit here and explain that these terms are loosely defined and even more loosely applied. We all know that. And we all know that it is strictly aimed at the right wing. One common feature of information sources that are censored is that they all question the mainstream narrative, whether that narrative be hashtag stay inside and hashtag lockdown, or whether it's the hashtag BLM, whatever the media conglomerate, the left wing, the millionaire celebrities are pushing must be agreed upon, or you risk being removed from the internet. We all know that this is a one-way street. Don't give me some bullshit example of a left-wing source being censored to try and contradict me. Exceptions always exist, but we all know that this censorship is completely targeted at the right wing. Also, don't give me some bullshit line about how, well, a private company has the rights to... When these companies are so intertwined with the political system of the West and have so much power and control over information and communication and can pick and choose who to censor, especially during an election cycle, but also get to enjoy the benefits of immunity from prosecution, it has stepped over into another realm. If you think that censorship only counts if it is through a soldier pointing a gun to you, telling you that you cannot say or publish a certain thing, you're an idiot. And I want you to leave right now because you are not worthy of anything else I have to say. As the world becomes increasingly complex, so too do the methods of population control. In a so-called free capitalist democracy which people think we live in, the only way that people will accept censorship is through the very way which it is presented to them currently, by using private companies and influential media figures to feed a narrative and censor any dissent. And I do use the word accept deliberately, because most people have accepted this style of censorship and even embrace it. Most leftists praise this and then cower behind the excuse of, well, I'm a private company and keeping us safe against Russians and white supremacists. It's all bullshit. Even they know it's bullshit, but they are too cowardly to say that the only reason they embrace the censorship is because it's aimed at their enemies. All hands are on deck to ensure that babbling Biden wins the election because he's easy to control. And he's in bed with every major elite players in politics, business, the world in general. The reality of his victory is being crafted by perception. The media continues to incessantly attack Donald Trump and shove any unfavorable coverage of Biden under the rug. Before they canceled the second debate to protect Biden, the would-be moderator was caught conspiring with others on how to handle Trump. When he got caught, he lied and said he was hacked, but later he admitted he made the whole thing up, and he has since been suspended from C-SPAN. The whole thing is rigged. They are crafting a perception that Biden is winning in a landslide on every poll and that Trump has no chance. Social media giants have already said that they're going to ban any political discussion on election night so that they can control the flow of information. None of this is surprising. We saw in 2016 with the leaked emails that virtually every single media organization in the country was working with the Hillary Clinton campaign to get her elected. ABC, Bloomberg, BuzzFeed, CNN, MSNBC, Huffington Post, the New York Times, ABC Political, Yahoo, The New Yorker, NBC, NPR, Vice, CBS, others. They were dining with Hillary Clinton. They were exchanging emails talking about how to spin her coverage. Their arrogance was their downfall in 2016, but their efforts are redoubled in 2020. Joe Biden, as horrible as Hillary Clinton was as a candidate, she at least had some degree of enthusiasm behind her. She had her ardent supporters. She had a platform that she campaigned on. And she at least made an effort to go out and actually campaign. Who is actually excited for Joe Biden if it weren't for the fact that he's not Trump? All of his supporters are sitting there pretending that, okay, maybe he's an okay candidate. And they're lying to themselves, pretending that the man has any mental capacity to become a president. They're pretending that he has no evidence of dementia. What platform is he even running on? Do you know? He's making no effort to campaign outside of his basement. His whole campaign revolves around Trump is bad and I'm not him. But he has the entire system behind him to drag his corpse across the finish line. So no, Joe Biden is not going to jail for accepting bribe money from a foreign state by using his position as vice president. Nobody cares. Remember, truth is not reality. Perception is reality. And the billionaire cabal, which controls perception, says that it's either not true or not to care. Twitter has blocked any mention of this news story outright. Never seen anything like this before. Every so-called major news network that I checked today did not have a single story on this on their homepage. Twitter says it needs to fact-check the story before they allow it to be published. How insane is that? They get to control what's true and what's not? When was the last time that they 100% blocked any mention of a story through a carefully constructed algorithm to fact-check it? Did they do this when hashtag Pissgate was trending and made allegations that Trump pissed on Russian hookers? You have to be retarded or you have to be blind not to see through this game. Oh, but Ted Cruz issued a subpoena for Jack Dorsey and Twitter and we'll finally hold him accountable. Bullshit. Maybe in a couple of weeks when no one cares anymore, he gives Congress some half-assed polished answers that does nothing, and that's all you'll ever hear of it. Oh, but the chairman of the FCC is looking into Article 230 so Twitter can finally be held accountable. Bullshit. Nothing is going to come of it. Oh, but some committee has launched an investigation. Bullshit. How many times in the last 5 years have we seen what should be the biggest political scandal of a lifetime get some stupid committee formed to investigate it, and then 3 years later, when nobody cares anymore, they spew out some trash report about how no one will face justice? It's all a joke. They don't play by the rules. There are no rules. We need to stop pretending like the United States government is playing by any rules whatsoever. Those who have money and those who have power make and enforce the rules while tricking you into thinking that that's not the case. It doesn't matter that we have physical evidence, copies of emails proving that Biden used American tax dollars to pay the Ukrainians to fire a prosecutor investigating his son who is taking millions of dollars in contributions for nothing. It doesn't matter that there's a leaked phone call between Biden and the president of the Ukraine confirming this.
Yesterday, I met with the general prosecutor Shokin.
Yes.
And despite of the fact that we didn't have any corruption charges, we don't have any information about he doing something wrong, I especially asked him, it was the day before yesterday, I especially asked him to resign. As his position as a state person. And despite of the fact that he has a support in the parliament. And as a finish of my meeting with him, he promised me to give me the statement on resignation. And 1 hour ago, he bring me the written statement of his resignation.
Great.
And this is my second step for keeping my promises.
I agree. Assuming that there is a new government and a new prosecutor general, I am prepared to do a public signing of the commitment for the $1 billion. Again, and I'm not suggesting that that's what you want or don't want. I'm just suggesting that that's what we're prepared to do.
But congratulations on installing the new prosecutor general. It's going to be critical for him to work quickly to repair the damage Shokin did. And I'm a man of my word. And that now that the new prosecutor general's in place, we're ready to move forward in signing that new $1 billion loan guarantee. And I don't know how you want to go about that. I'm not going to be able to get to...
It doesn't matter that literally there's a video of Joe Biden admitting and bragging to about having done this.
I remember going over convincing our team, or others too, convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
What more evidence do you need? The answer is, it doesn't matter. No one cares because they don't play by the rules. There are no rules. So instead of crying and asking for an investigation that's going to get buried under the rug and never go anywhere, issue an executive action shutting down every social media network in the US immediately until they obey the principle of free speech. The left doesn't follow reason. They refuse to look at evidence in front of their face. It's about time to stop trying to win this cultural war with reason, logic, and evidence. They clearly don't care about those things. Shut down these billionaires until they obey the basic principles of free speech. Fuck your subpoenas and special committees that never have and never will do anything.